was an English teacher for a couple of years, and that was actually in Central Illinois and Champaign. After budget cuts that have occurred throughout the entire state of Illinois, I decided to let go of my job so I can pursue something else, and that was one avenue was actually looking at library and information science. And so then I went to U of I for my grad program, and then I came here and got my job as a librarian. This is now going to be my second year in the profession. We have a population of just about over 2,000 kids. We just recently found out that about 66% of students are on free and reduced lunch, and through the community is very much a working class community here in Fox Lake. The taxes are much cheaper than compared to some other towns that are within within Lake County, and this. Back in the day, this used to be much more of a lake, community and summer houses. Now you have mostly families that live here. I think when I came into this job, most teachers thought that we just provided, checking books out for kids and then making sure the computer labs are available. That's what most, I think, thought. I think ever since I came into the job and what they've seen the past year, it's not just checking out books. It's not just monitoring computer labs. It's much more than that. It's definitely looking at instruction for classes. It's looking at research for individuals, as well as even for teachers in creating citations for them for their own unit projects or their assignments. If we're looking at just the day-to-day operations of this job, it's never the same. I am always doing something else every single day. Last week it was working with circulation and training my library aides how to do that. Today was looking at how to process new books into the library, and so teaching my aides how to do that, along with doing different displays for the nonfiction collection and breaking down different shells in the Dewey Decimal System, so it's more visual for students to understand what the numbers actually mean. I think the first time I tried to teach a database just failed miserably because it was, we didn't have any of the passwords connected to our network, so no IP addresses were registering, and when students were trying to find a resource using that one database, the IP addresses weren't working at the time, and then when they're trying to find the citation, it wasn't there. The articles they clicked on, it was only an abstract and it wasn't the full article, so everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Something I did really well, it was pretty much like it was a year process. I think it was probably with the memoirs. I started building up that collection, so then once the new school year started, I pretty much was prepared for this project, as well as purchasing more material that focuses on college essay writing and developing a resume and interviewing questions, because that all went along with this project for seniors. And so that was something that I really felt that has been prosperous, because more memoirs are being checked out, and there's a variety instead of just a few when I first started. So I'm in a female-dominated profession. I know. I'm a minority. It's kind of ironic. I'm a white male, and I'm a minority. But it's interesting because I can still relate to other professionals, especially women who are in this profession, because most of my colleagues that are librarians, especially in library school where I went to, most of them were women when it comes to just different ideas or the collection itself. When I came in, I think this went through over a decade of having female librarians here, is, I mean, there were a lot more interest in, like, not just, to stereotype, but like a lot of more women, especially librarians, like they're more sewing books, more books on cats. The one thing that, I mean, that lacked a lot was that I saw when I got in, like, there was hardly anything in sports, and especially being in Chicago area, there was no emphasis on that. So that was something that I built, and when I got my job, it was, I told them, like, the collection will change, not just because I have a different mind of, like, some of interest, but also some things that I feel like the collection could have. Even with being in theater, like, there was nothing in that side in the 800s. All the Shakespeare was older than me when it was purchased, so that says something about some of the reading here. A lot of librarians, they have a very small budget to work with. They don't get a lot to purchase for new content, for new materials that they really want to promote for their students. I mean, I have a really good budget. It's nice because I have a principal who supports the library, and I have administrators who have kept that fund the same. I mean, they haven't cut anything, and that's been nice. And as well as more teachers know that if they want to get something for classes, then I'm always willing to want to look at it and then purchase it for the library. That's been something I've been trying to do a lot more, is what other teachers need.